Hello and welcome to session 7 of the Recruitment Business Accelerator program. This session we're going to be covering technology. Now, I'm not a technology expert, but I have worked with many recruitment teams and had lots of feedback on all the different technologies that are available. And I've worked with many recruitment clients, consulting to them on their business, and had the opportunity to get so much feedback on what works for them, what they like, what suits their specialty, and the way that they recruit. So the idea of this session is to give you a summary of some things that I've learned before you go through the worksheet exercise to determine areas of potential change and improvement for your own technology setup. I've included in the downloads that you'll see 2 Captain's Table sessions that are on recruitment technology, which I think you'll find very useful. The first one is Recruitment Technology We Love by Jason and James, who twice now have presented on technology that they use as recruiters, and they do a lot of research into what is useful, what is efficient, what is cost effective, and what improves the recruitment process that they offer their clients. And secondly, the other one is Remote Working is Here to Stay. That's a Captain's Table interview with Brett Iredale, former CEO of JobAdder, Australia's leading recruitment management system at the time. And we discuss what's happened since COVID-19 hit and how the work from home environment has opened up a whole raft of opportunities for the use of different technologies, and different considerations come into play as far as remote working goes. So many people have had a taste of remote working, and they now want to continue doing it either on a full-time or a part-time basis. So there are some considerations that do occur when you do have a remote workforce, and obviously cloud-based technology gives you a big advantage, and those companies that did have all their technology in the cloud made a very seamless transition to a work from home scenario when COVID-19 first broke out. But it opens up a whole bunch of other opportunities for recruiters that now it's acceptable practice for recruiters to recruit from wherever they are, and in other markets too. So now that clients and candidates are used to Zoom style interviewing or Skyping or Teams or whatever they're using, they can be doing it from anywhere in our country, and if not overseas. Everyone's very used to it now. And it's opened up a much bigger market opportunity for recruitment companies to recruit beyond their normal geographic boundaries. So minimum technology is around what a recruitment company really needs. And if we have a think about it, really all you need is a CRM that acts as a recruitment management system or an RMS. In the old days, a CRM was just enough. You had names, addresses, and notes. But nowadays, you have really clever recruitment systems that work through the whole recruitment process itself and enable snapshots of where clients and candidates are at any one amount of time. They're integrated with so many different other products, such as reference checking platforms, with accounting software, with a whole bunch of different add-ons. Video is becoming much more popular, but really all you need is a good recruitment management system. And I've used a lot of them over the years, and I've had teams around me that have used a lot of them. Right now, my favourite is JobAdder, because they're Australian-based, very responsive. They have expanded globally though, and they've got very good customer service. They're very responsive, and they're always trying to improve the product to give a better experience for their recruitment users. So it's JobAdder, and as you'll see in the interview I did with Brett Iredale, he once said to me, all you really need is JobAdder and the Google suite of products, and you can run a very efficient recruitment business. Some of you are on Microsoft products, of course, so then all you need is JobAd or another recruitment management system, and the Microsoft Office suite, which includes Outlook and PowerPoint, Excel, etc. But there are some good add-ons that people do use, such as calendar technology. We're using Zoom and Teams and Google Hangouts, but really it's just a great communication system, a productivity documentation platform, and also your recruitment management system. And that's all. Everything is mobile now. More and more candidates are contacting and responding to job ads by mobile. Mobile's becoming a very big part of everything that gets done in recruitment now, and because everyone's on the move, everyone's mobile, and also video is coming more to the forefront. Now, video technology has been around for a while as far as candidate interviews go. It works for some businesses. It works for high volume recruitment very well, because it can narrow down the shortlisting interview process, but it also presents candidates who do interview well over video in a very good way initially, so that they ones that on paper might not have made it through to the next round with clients can make it through after a good video presentation. So watch out for video. I really like it. People say maybe it's not good for very senior roles, but look, as a quick introduction, it's really good to get a feel for the person, for the candidate, that is, when introducing them to a client. Hey, I'd like to introduce myself. I've done this, this and that. I'm really interested in coming to work for your company because of this, that, and whatever. It can be a good way to get the chemistry moving a lot faster, because it doesn't often show up on email or on paper CVs. So yeah, watch out for video technology. I think we'll see a lot more from it as bandwidth and storage is improved. We'll see more and more on video. So we talked about a recruitment management system. I think what's really important here is that it is cost effective. It's not costing you too much. That you are getting a lot of use out of it. You're using all its functionality. Your people are really well trained in it, and that it really matches your recruitment process, not the other way around. Not having your recruitment process match what the recruitment management system does. So yeah, there's I always hear, oh, I didn't know they could do that, or I didn't know I could do this. Really important for you and your teams to really know what your system can do, and make sure you are maximising its capabilities, and also pushing back to the software vendors themselves and saying, hey, this would be really good if this feature was there, because it will allow us to recruit more efficiently and effectively. And 9 times out of 10, if they're a good vendor, they'll say, yeah, that's a great idea, and our next round of development we'll look to add that as well. So when making decisions around hardware and software in general, here's just a couple of ideas for you to think about. It's very, very easy to add a lot of cost. Subscriptions, they seem, when they're broken down to a monthly basis, software subscriptions seem relatively inexpensive, but when you've got 10 different productivity tools all on a monthly subscription basis, the cost of this technology can add up really quickly. So you want to ask yourself how much time it might save you, how much productivity it'll help improve your business and your processes, and how it might help drive performance of your team. You want them to be productive. You want them to be actually using the systems you have in place. It's no good spending a lot of money on technology, whether it's hardware or software, and your team's not using it effectively and not generating additional revenues from that return on investment that you've put into both software and hardware. As far as hardware goes, not much to say on that. I've seen quite a few recruitment companies move to laptops now because they're more portable. They use less energy, so they're more environmentally effective, if you like. And then it means that your people can take them to meetings, to work from home, wherever they are, and there's some more portability, and that they can be working on the move. And I think big desktops do take up a lot of space. They require a decent sized office, and they also use a lot more energy and power, of course. But that's just one of the things I'm seeing as a trend. a much bigger trend towards mobile devices. So the other consideration for you around hardware and software is the integration, checking that it works with the other platforms that you have, checking that there's compatibility there, that you are using all its features, that each product or software service that you use does talk to the other, and that you don't have any glitches along the way. So often there's quite a lot of training required of new staff, of existing clients, and you're going to need to check compliance as well, because you want to make sure your people and yourself are using these systems well. I know for a fact Xero, for example, the accounting software package, I know I don't use its full capability. I know I should, but we need to find the time to make sure that we are fully utilising these great products. They are sitting there thinking about, extra features they can add all the time. It's not much point in us paying lots of money for software and not fully utilising it. So I encourage you to really utilise it, train on it regularly, and make sure you've got buy-in from your team, your clients, and your candidates on the use of whatever add-ons that you integrate into your central technology stack, if you want to call it that. Other considerations, security. Now that more people are working from home, security needs to be better, and a lot of security is inbuilt into many of the current operating systems now, and we don't hear of many viruses anymore. It's more about stealing of information that is one of the biggest security risks, if you like, at the moment. Internally, you can lock down a lot of stuff, but people will find a way of getting information if they really want it. So you've got to do the best that you can around protecting it. I think as far as staff goes, staff will always try and squirrel away some of the important information for them to use at a later date. We've seen many recruitment companies start up from consultants that have left where they're at, and miraculously templates appear that they might have used in the past. And I've worked for a consultant to a recruitment company and seen some of my own templates that I constructed many years before pop up in that business. The person was formerly a staff member in one of the recruitment companies that I own. So, that'll happen, and I guess we accept that, and it's not much point chasing over people doing that. I think as long as the Privacy Act is followed and we're protecting candidate and client information, I think that's probably the even more important consideration, that you really are locking down candidate and client information under the Privacy Act as much as you can. And with remote access, everything's in the cloud. That opens up to the fact that people can be fiddling around with your information remotely without anyone knowing what's going on. So make sure you've got some good advice on how to protect that. And most importantly, I believe, is having good backup systems for your information. A lot of the software vendors provide it for us in the cloud now, so we don't really need to worry about it. But I still like to keep on a special disk a backup of all my important information, just in case the cloud-based storage provider, whether it's Amazon or Microsoft OneDrive or Dropbox or Google Drive or whatever system that you use to back up and save information, I always like to have my own backup on a hard drive, just in case something happens and their information gets corrupted or destroyed, that you do have a backup so that you could start up very quickly if something did go wrong. And then there's your website. This is the other part of technology, and the website is a combination of your marketing. It's really it's your calling card. It's your brochure, if you like. It's your electronic brochure. And websites have changed quite a bit over the years. They used to be just an information source where companies would go to check out your credentials. Now they're very functioning portals to the recruitment services that you provide. You'll be listing jobs there, applications can be made for those jobs on your website. There's a lot of resources. It's important to have resources there for your clients and your candidates. I think the website needs to talk in the language of not how good you are, but how much you can offer your clients and your candidates, and also your staff, for the attraction of future staff. You know, what makes your recruitment company really stand out as a quality employer, as a quality provider of recruitment services. And that's why I really advise to put as much valuable content as you can, because that'll help with your SEO or search engine optimization, but it also shows that you really do want to share good quality information. And some of the bare minimums might include some interview tips, some resume writing tips, what a recruitment process looks like, how you really add value to a client's recruitment process, how you add value to the candidate journey, and why candidates should use you exclusively, and why clients should be utilising your services exclusively as well. So not just written blog posts, but now, as I mentioned before, video is more and more popular. Some people like to consume information visually and in short snippets, so not too long, but video adds that extra element of human contact, which is a very important point that I wanted to make here. And I'll make it again at the end of this short introduction on technology. And that is, we really have to use technology to improve the recruitment process, to improve the efficiency of our delivery, but not at the expense of personal relationships and building rapport, and that really important chemistry that happens when we are face-to-face in meetings with clients and candidates and staff. And that's why I think video adds back some of that element that can be lost in very simple one or two dimensional written communications. So on your website, back to your website, functional, updated, keep it modern and keep it fresh. I've seen many websites that are very, very old and clunky, have no useful information, and just make bold claims about how good the recruitment company is. That's not going to impress clients or candidates who will check you out. That's one of the first things that people do nowadays when they're looking at companies to interact with. Video, I've mentioned, really important. Bandwidth is cheap now. It's really easy to make very short and sharp videos, and they display really well on modern hardware and software platforms as well. And then finally, I encourage you to constantly compare your site with other recruitment companies out there. Just spend some time looking at what other companies are doing and what best practice looks like as far as websites go. And you'll very, very quickly get an idea of where your website is compared to other recruitment companies out there. And then a final word on technology. Technology is best used when it brings people together. And I want to reiterate this is a very important point. We have to keep reminding ourselves we've got great technology to do reference checks, to send messages, to affect the recruitment process. But recruitment is above everything a people business. And if we're ever going to be displaced as recruiters by technology and by artificial intelligence, which you'll notice I don't even mention because I still don't believe that artificial intelligence can do the selection process nearly as well as a human brain can, because it is such an art and there are so many steps in the process that AI may help with some parts of the recruitment process, but I still see it for many years being a very strong people business, and we've got to maintain that human element and human contact, because we know for a fact that people buy from people. They don't buy from machines. They struggle to interact with machines. They want to be interacting with people. People want to be interacting with people. But I think what we need to do is use the technology to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of our communication and of the quality of our recruitment and recruitment marketing practices. So I hope that gave you some ideas around technology. Short, sharp and simple. Go through the exercises in the workbook that's to follow. Have a look at the two Captain's Table meetings that I mentioned, please, and complete your actions and update them, ready to move on to the next session. So thank you very much for joining me.